This is a Meade ETX 90, and the mount is what they call as a RA or EC. I've seen the names used for it. About the mount separate, it works. It doesn't have a goto. It has a clock drive, and you install it on this tabletop tripod, and the clock drive will turn it like a face of and the hands of a clock, the telescope, in the direction of the Earth rotation, or actually the opposite of it. So the sky is turning from the east to west, and it turns also the telescope from the east to west. The direction of this shorter leg here is the one that actually pointing toward the Polaris, the North Star. So that practically works like an axis of the rotation, like the rotation of the Earth, and that way it works for you. I had bought the tube separate. It is for a later version of this telescope, and that works. Easy to install it in this one. You have to use a Allen key to remove the this casing, Allen screws, and then squeeze this inside. Just opening it just slightly up and then squeezing this inside, and it just fits easily, and then you put back the screws. I have put one of these knobs for reaching further from the body of the telescope, so you can actually adjust it. Other than that, this is exactly how it was, the original one. This is the original Meade ETX which came into market in 1999, or even earlier probably. I think I saw these things earlier than that. Anyway, they were in covers and the inside cover of magazines a lot. And if you have those issues, you will know that. The good thing about this, what I like, is that it has it's like almost like a Meade LX200. Unlike LX900, that you just have to adjust either by this and then use the computer, the hand control, to turn it. This one, you can actually manually turn it. This tightens up the axis here, and then you can use this to move up and down the tube. A similar knob exists here, which you can use for the same purpose. And good thing is that you have one knob here, one knob that side. For that one, you have only one. For this one, you have two. And also at the same time, let me turn it. You have a locking mechanism here also, and you can lock. When you lock it, that turns according to the rotation of the clock drive mechanism. It takes 3 AA batteries, and for reaching it, there is a metal plate under it. There are 3 screws, I think, holding it. You remove those screws and the metal plate just comes off. It's very heavy. Be careful, it may fall on your feet. That part of it, that metal plate, is heavy. When you do that, all the clock drive mechanism is there. And like other ETX, it has a flip mirror mechanism for it makes you be able to use this back port of it for attaching for terrestrial viewing diagonal, 45-degree diagonal, for using it as a spotoscope. Or if you have the right attachments, you have to use a male-female attachment here, then attach it to several tubes, then you can connect it to a camera, and that camera can be used. You can use this telescope ETX as a as a telephoto lens. When you have the camera, you cannot really use it for astrophotography in a sense of using this port. Bear with me, I'll just put this back. Okay, I'll put that back. Because the camera will catch with the body of the telescope mount. So you have to be careful about that. But when it is in this position, you can use any camera adapter for digital photography to the eyepiece. It holds around the eyepiece, and then you can just take an image by looking at the lens. Mobile phone cameras can do that easily. And when you turn the telescope toward the objective part, aperture opening, you can see that there is a metal cap, lens cap, that twists. I recommend do it horizontally, so if there's any metal shredding, it doesn't fall on your mirror. And then, hallelujah, that's the mirror. First you see the meniscus and the tiny secondary mirror, and then at the bottom and the end you can see that that's the actual mirror. So this is a Maksutov design, and as you can see, it has a diameter of 90 millimeter and focal length of 1250 millimeter, which means the f ratio of this telescope is 13.8. It's quite good for lunar and planet observation. The optics, as you can see in this specimen, is really clean and nice. I'll put it back because I want to show you something about this tabletop mount. The tabletop mount comes with two legs for the polar alignment, and that one. And it's very complicated. You have to find the right manual for just to see how you can actually adjust that. Just to make it short, is that this shorter leg is for 44 to 56 degrees latitude. So there are two holes for this polar leg. One is this one, which is for 44 to 56, and this other one is for 57 to 70 something, or 60 something. That's the latitude adjustment. For anything lower than that, you have the bigger leg that you have to use, so it will rise it more, so it will be the polar alignment will be more this way. And when it is this way, because the telescope will have all the heavy side of the telescope will be this side, you need to have a weight this side. Then you have to attach a weight to the longer leg, so it will not tip over like a seesaw. So for balancing it, you have to use it. For this one, we don't need that. In the UK, we are just using the smaller leg. We put a table for this. There is a little difficulty to find anything about this, how to adjust it in the. I never saw anything like that in the internet. Just really dig into this, and I found it, and I will put it at the end of this video. How to adjust that. This is the plate I mentioned. You remove the 3 screws, and this is a heavy metal plate. This is metal, this is plastic or thinner metal. This is metal. So when you remove these 3 screws, you can access the battery compartment. And then when you replace the batteries, you have to put this N and S, this button, this switch on the end. That's for northern hemisphere, so it turns clockwise. In the southern hemisphere, it turns anti-clockwise. And then when you want to turn it on, it's off and on. You can turn it on and off. I will do it, but just listen. I don't want you to run it like that, because that is actually having friction with the surface of the table. So that's the way you adjust this. all in all, is a nice little package that you can take with yourself everywhere. This is at least in the theory. I never use this tabletop arrangement of this. I'm going to use it tonight. I've put it on a table. The table is aluminium table, camping table, so it is lightweight. It may be very wobbly, but hey, yeah, I have to try it and see how it is. I will get back and just tell how it was, how it feels. Is it practical? Can it keep the target in the field of view, or no? Any movement will actually make it you lose the target. For finder scope, I'm using a Regal quick finder, which I had a video about it, how to adjust it in a way that I can put a elastic band around the tube and it just stays there. This is a good version, good cheap version of a Questar. As you know, Questar is a Cold War era product. They could sell it as a plagiarized communist equipment to the MOD, Ministry of Defense in America, but at a very high, steep price. This one you can buy it now second-hand, £100, £200, depending on how much it is. In dollar, anything between $100 to $300 US dollar. And Questar is very expensive. Of course, you don't need a viewfinder. Down here, you have a mirror. You can flip the mirror on that back, and this mirror, secondary mirror, gives you the view. Also, you can rotate the whole cell which holds the main mirror, so you can access the eyepiece from different positions. In this one, you cannot do it; it's fixed. That is a nice design, but it doesn't mean that it can justify to sell it for more than 10 times the value of this one, the price of this one. It was an overpriced thing, as we know. They do these kind of things because they can sell it if they know somebody in the MOD or anywhere, and at that prices they can sell it and just get away with it. But in the real market, people don't buy this much. I mean, the Questar, I have an example of it I will show you. If it was, for example, £200 or $300, this ETX 90, the Questar cannot worth more than, let me tell you, £500 or around $650. That's the price. If it is anything more than it doesn't worth, in my opinion. At the end of the day, it's just a 90mm telescope. It's nothing more than that. And what is important in astronomy uses is that the light grasp is the most important. How much light you can actually collect, how much photons of the light you can collect. The bigger your aperture, the bigger the amount of the light you can get into the mirror. As I said, I will show you how it is in the field. I have a feeling this will be very wobbly on the table that I have. It's a camping table. It's very lightweight. But let's see how it is. And as you can see, this is the way it looks when you put it on a table if you're pointing it to the Polaris. So roughly pointing to the Polaris in this way. And I'm showing you from a different angle how it looks. It's now looking toward almost 90 degrees away from the Polaris, the north celestial pole, and practically looking toward the celestial equator. I must say it's beautiful for display on a table or on a proper shelf, if you are into such things. Okay, this is a document that I mentioned. This is the details you need if you want to adjust a tabletop mount, which holes it goes. You can stop the video at any point, and I'm coming segment by segment of the page to let you read all of that. So stop anywhere that you want and enjoy and read this document. So it's very rare to find this document. I couldn't find anything. It didn't come with even the tabletop mount that I had, so that's rare.